Good morning and welcome to another wonderful episode of Daybreak. I'm Brandon Krasowski.
And I'm Addison Deal. In today's episode, we'll catch you up to date on the several charity organizations making headway in Pittsburgh.
We'll also discuss the one-act play that Point Park's Conservatory of Performing Arts are presenting very soon.
And let's not forget, reporter Samuel Parator is here to give you this week's Sideline Slice, and Carlo Andreassi will PolitiSpec this week's political news.
Wake up and smell the eggnog, Pittsburgh. Daybreak starts right now. Welcome back. Here's your campus news, starting with your weekly weather update with Alexis Shawless.
Thanks, Addison and Brandon. Pittsburgh weather seems to be doing what it normally does this time of year, and by that, I mean it's being very indecisive. We're starting the week off with some low temperatures, mostly in the high 40s to low 50s, but as you can see, as the week progresses, the temperatures increase with a high of 60 degrees for next Thursday. And a bit of good news, make sure you're getting outside this week because the sun likes to hide from Pittsburgh during these winter months. And we're seeing a slight break from that with sunny and partially cloudy skies. It doesn't look like we'll get much precipitation this week, which is a letdown for those looking forward to some snow, but a happy surprise for those dreading it. But not to worry, if Pittsburgh keeps its track record, we'll be seeing an abundance of snow in the coming weeks, which to those who like it might enjoy after finals head off and we head on to our winter break. That's it for your weekly weather update. Now let's hand it back over to your hosts.
You know, the weather outside earlier this week was very frightful, but the 60s sure do look delightful.
Yes, I'm very much looking forward to the warmer days. It was pretty clever.
I tried, I really did, but I mean, I love the 60s. It's gonna feel like spring outside, and it's nice to walk outside and not need like 3 layers, you know what I mean?
No, I agree, especially when the sun is out and it's very like warm and not so windy.
But here's the tip, guys. If you feel like it's like super cold, it's a psychology thing. If you think about the sun, it'll actually warm you up. Try it, seriously, it works sometimes.
Yeah.
But thanks, Alexis, for that update. Alexa, sorry.
Now let's dive into the news that matters most, starting with this week's campus news.
If you're trying to print something out at Point Park this week, you probably didn't get anywhere. This week, some printers around the university were having trouble printing out documents from school computers. The issue seems to be resolved at this time, but there is a workaround. In case you didn't know, you can print from your own device easily. All you have to do is go to Point Park or print.pointpark.edu, which connects you to PaperCut Web Print. The website works best when accessed from Chrome, but still works with other browsers. Remember this tip for the convenience.
COPA will be putting on their one-act play festival, The Space in Between, this weekend in the Raw Theater. This festival includes a multitude of different shows split into 2 different programs, A and B. Program A includes the one-acts called The 20s, directed by Alexa Wildenberg, The Summer People by Mary Felix, and Letters from Adelaide by Mattia Martin. Program B includes Madame, directed by Odessa Linez, and All the Birds Loved Her by Rashad Dinkins, Pomegranate by Sadie Pillengardner, Drunken Wreckage by Faith Debelius, and Davy and Stu by Maggie McKelland. Programs A and B will be shown on alternating days from the 9th to the 11th at 7 p.m. and the 12th at 2:30 p.m. Students can purchase discounted tickets online or at the box office.
Weekly menus for dining hall at Point Park has returned after hiatus because of the pandemic. While the menus are back, they may occasionally change because of the various product shortages happening around the country. Many different meals are available each day, so be sure to look at the menu for the week. The dining hall will also be hosting various events in the lobbies as a way to say thank you for a great fall semester. The events will happen while supplies last because the dining hall doesn't know how many people will be showing up. Check your Point Park email for more details. So I don't know about you, but I did have printing troubles this week. I was in the University Center trying to print just one document. Took 30 minutes.
Oh my gosh.
Very frustrating.
I would have given up at that point. That's too long. I can't wait that long. I'm impatient.
I'm not a patient person either, but I really needed what I was trying to print,
Yeah.
and There is no other option. I mean,
I luckily didn't have to print anything this week, but my friends were, and I heard all about the struggles with the printers.
it was a rough time, but you know what? I finally, after like 6 computers,
Yeah.
I finally got it to print. So, you know,
Yeah.
but at least we know that tip now, because I didn't even know that, honestly.
Yeah.
You know, so that'll definitely come in handy now. I never have to log into a Point Park computer again.
Yeah.
It's gonna be great. But hey, after the break, we'll give you the scoop on the animal shelter that might be getting an extended contract with our city.
And we'll tell you all about the recent grant received by Pittsburgh's Tree of Life Synagogue.
And don't forget, our reporters Samuel Parator and Carlo Andreasse are ready to give you this week's sports and political news.
Don't go anywhere, Daybreak. We'll be right back. Good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening and welcome back to Newsnight. Most of the student body of the Pittsburgh Public School.
Some of the United States allies.
Thursday, the FBI was seen rating.
Let's get started with today's forecast.
Today's high will only reach about 31 degrees.
It's looking a little cooler than we've seen in the past few weeks.
All this and more
All this and more
All this and more coming up on Newsnight.
coming up on Newsnight.
coming up on Newsnight.
Welcome back to Daybreak.
Without further ado, here is your city news.
The Women's Board of Pittsburgh will be celebrating 30 years of charity events, raising money for Pittsburgh's children with an online and in-person charity event. It begins with an online auction from January 21st to the 27th, selling experiences and merchandise from local Pittsburgh businesses. After the auctions, on January 28th, there will be in-person events, including a cocktail party and a fashion runway by Carabella of Oakmont. A ticket will also provide a virtual cooking demonstration by executive chef of the Pittsburgh Field Club, Paul O'Toole. Tickets are $100 each, but all of the proceeds go to a charity supporting the children of Pittsburgh that the board chooses after the event.
The Tree of Life Synagogue will receive a multi-million-dollar grant for future development. According to WPXI, the $6.6 million grant will be used to rebuild the synagogue after the horrific mass shooting back in October 2018, which killed 11 people. The project will build new spaces for worship, classrooms, and a new area for programs from the Holocaust Center of Pittsburgh. The grant is part of a state $54 million redevelopment package for projects across Pennsylvania.
The Humane Animal Rescue, a nonprofit animal shelter, has had a contract with Pittsburgh for 15 years now, taking in stray animals found throughout the Pittsburgh area. However, costs have risen over the past few years, causing concern for some city council members. The Pittsburgh City Council is considering extending the contract with the Humane Animal Rescue through 2024, a contract that would cost more than $1 million, a costly endeavor. However, cities that have similar area to Pittsburgh have their own shelters, giving city-county members another factor to consider. City Controller Mike Lamb gave the rescue an audit in October, reporting, quote, "The city needs to evaluate the benefits and costs of building our own shelter," end quote. The council will officially vote on the matter in 2 weeks.
Well, regardless of what happens, I hope we still have a shelter down here in downtown.
Yeah, it's really important. There's lots of stray animals around the area. It's like very important to make sure we get them somewhere safe and somewhere where they can be adopted.
Exactly. Adopt, don't shop. Because,
Yes.
I mean, why would you pay thousands of dollars for a dog? It's like any other dog. And plus, I mean, these animals need homes.
Yeah, there's plenty of loving animals and shelters for people to take home.
I've actually, one of my first dogs actually was a shelter dog. And he was the greatest thing ever. We had him for years. And
Both my dogs are shelter dogs too.
yeah, I mean, they're just like any other pet. They're loving, and, you know, you're getting them out of a bad situation. How would you like to
Yeah.
be locked up in a cage?
Yeah.
But
Coming up after the break, we have this week's Ray of Sunshine.
But first, we're going to our weekly sports news with Sam Parator's Sideline Slice.
And we'll PolitiSmack your political news with reporter Carlo Andreassi.
Stay tuned, Daybreak. We'll be right back.
Welcome back to Daybreak, everybody. My name is Samuel Parator, here with my friend Paul the Snowman to give you a slice of the action in Sam's Sideline Slice. And what a weekend it was for Pittsburgh football. Started off on Saturday night with the Pitt Panthers. Pitt rolled past Wake Forest 45-21 to win their first ACC championship in their history, thanks to quarterback and Heisman Trophy finalist Kenny Pickett, who went 20 of 33 for 253 yards and 2 touchdowns, and a stellar defense that came out with 5 sacks, an interception, and didn't allow a single point after the first quarter. Pitt has now earned themselves a date with the Michigan State Spartans in the Peach Bowl at Mercedes-Benz Stadium in Atlanta, Georgia on December 30th at 7 p.m. Moving on to the NFL now, the Steelers have a lot to be excited about, but not a lot of time to celebrate it. They came out on top last Sunday against their arch rival and division leader Baltimore Ravens 20-19. The Steelers got off to a slow start yet again and were down 10-3 going into the fourth quarter, but roared back and scored 17 points in the fourth quarter to take a 20-13 lead with a little over 2 minutes left in the game. The Ravens were able to score a touchdown on their ensuing drive and were an extra point away from tying the game, which is where things got a little dicey. Head coach John Harbaugh decided he wanted to go for 2 and try to win the game right there. Did that work for them, Paul? No, it didn't. Unfortunately for them, they failed the attempt, allowing the Steelers to pick up a much-needed 20-19 win and keep their season alive for the time being and stay in the playoff hunt. They don't have much time to celebrate that win, however, as they have a short week before traveling to Minnesota to face the Vikings on Thursday Night Football. The Steelers need to pull off another win to keep their chances alive, so as always, here we go Steelers. Now let's hand it off to Carlo Andreassi for this week's PolitiSmack.
Thanks, Sam. Welcome to PolitiSmack. I'm Carlo Andreassi. This week, the U.S. State Department approved of the first major weapons deal to Saudi Arabia since Biden took office. The sale consists of 280 air-to-air missiles totaling up to $650 million. Republican Senators Rand Paul, not to be confused with Paul the Snowman over here, and Mike Lee, as well as independent Senator Bernard Sanders, introduced a resolution which would have prevented this sale on the basis that Saudi Arabia has been committing genocide on the people of Yemen since 2015, and using our arms sales to do so. Senator Paul spoke on the Senate floor on the matter, saying, quote, "They should not get any of our weapons until they stop starving the country of Yemen." However, the Senate ultimately voted against the resolution, 67-30, in a bipartisan effort to back the Biden administration on this sale. This isn't the first time we've sold arms to the country. In fact, this has become customary. In May of 2017, the Trump administration sold arms to Saudi Arabia for $460 billion over the course of 10 years. And the Obama administration sold arms for $115 billion in 2016, shortly after the country started its naval campaigns over Yemen. The Biden administration earlier this year acknowledged Saudi Arabia's genocide in Yemen and even suggested using our allyship with the country to diplomatically ease tensions between the two countries. Hence, why the State Department is ensuring that we are selling defensive weapons rather than offensive weapons. Several members of the Senate justified their decision to vote against blocking this deal, including Senate GOP leader Mitch McConnell, who stated that we should be, quote, wary of turning our backs on longtime partners. Another element to add to the conversation is the influence of the private company Raytheon, who the government is sponsoring to produce these weapons, as many senators who voted against the resolution have also taken sums of money from Raytheon, indicating that the decision to sell arms was primarily motivated by the profit incentive of a weapon manufacturing company. That's all for your PolitiSmack update. Now, let's get back to our hosts.
Thank you, Carlo and Paul.
Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back with this week's Ray of Sunshine. Good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening, and welcome back to Newsnight. Most of the student body of the Pittsburgh Public School.
Some of the United States allies.
Thursday, the FBI was seen raiding.
Let's get started with today's forecast.
Today's high will only reach about 31 degrees.
It's looking a little cooler than we've seen in the past few weeks.
All this and more
All this and more
All this and more coming up on Newsnight.
coming up on Newsnight.
coming up on Newsnight.
Welcome back to Daybreak. Before we say goodbye, we'd like to share with you this week's Ray of Sunshine.
In case this is your first time joining us or you need a refresher, Ray of Sunshine is our way of starting your day with a quote and a smile.
It's the holiday season, so we're shaking it up this week with a quote about the importance of loved ones. This week's quote comes from Anne Sophia Sevchin.
The quote reads, "To love deeply in one direction makes us more loving in all others."
It's a very nice quote, especially for the holiday season. You know, you gotta love the people around you, just like our Grinch here, his heart grew 3 sizes.
Yeah, what do you think, Mr. Grinch?
Fine, but I'm gonna despise every second of it.
He has such a way with words.
He really does. Can I just call you Grinch? Are we friends?
I hate you. Hate, 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 hate. Double hate. Loathe entirely.
He said no. We're not friends.
That's
You know what? I
awkward.
tried though. It's okay. But that's all we have for Daybreak. Thank you so much for watching.
You can catch clips from all our previous Daybreak episodes on our YouTube at UU Television.
Don't forget to subscribe and follow us on Instagram at DaybreakPPU. I'm Brandon Krasowski.
And I'm Addison Deal, hoping your news is good news. Have a great day, everyone.